miners throughout Oregon on very short notice assemble at the Capitol building in Salem, to bring attention to the legislature of some very bad bills that would adversely affect them. This first video is of Tom Kitchar, summarizes the issues.
There. I know we're able-bodied, we got arms, we can clap hands. First up, Mr. Tom Kitchar.
I want to reiterate what Evan said. This is incredible that pardon?
Speak into the mic.
This is incredible that so many of you could make it up here today in this lovely Oregon weather. I really appreciate it. We all really appreciate it. And let's really pray that the folks inside this building understand what we gave up to be here today. Most of you probably have a job, had to take the day off. They got paid. Did you? My name is Tom Kitchar. I'm president of the Waldo Mining District. We're Oregon's first mining district. We were established April 1st, 1852, while Oregon was still a territory. We were the government in Southern Oregon at the time. Over the years that I've been president of Waldo Mining District, we have fought one battle after another to stop, basically, suction dredge mining. The environmental committee, or environmental organizations, have numerous times, starting in the 1990s, they attacked us through the Forest Service regulations, trying to require us to have an approved plan of operations to pick up a nugget with your bare fingers. We got that thrown out. We took it to court. They then segregated, they tried to withdraw the whole Siskiyou National Forest, 1.2 million acres and another 600,000 acres of adjoining BLM land. We were actually segregated for a year and a half, but we got that withdrawal thrown out. It was after that that the problems in California developed with the Karuk Indians. Their lawsuits are based on the same lawsuits that we fought. Correct. They're now none of that worked. Although obviously we all know there's still problems down in California. I personally have very high hopes that if they ever get into court over what happened in California, the miners will prevail. Our big danger is we don't want to be like California here in Oregon. We cannot let these bills become law. How many of you have ever been inside this building? I'd just like to see a show of hands. Great. Today probably won't be the time to do it, but if you get a chance, go into this building within the next couple of weeks. Go find your state senator. Go find your state representative. Go talk to their staff. Try to talk to your legislator and explain to them what these bills will actually do to you. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what some of these bills are going to do to you. Not all of them, because there's too many of them. The big ones, though, that we're worried about is Senate Bill 115. This bill, as written right now, regardless of what Senator Bates says, prohibits all motorized methods of placer mining with a very few limited exemptions. This, and as written, this would prohibit anything bigger than a 4-inch dredge, including bulldozers, backhoes, sand and gravel plants, trommels, shaker screens. Any of that kind of equipment would be prohibited by this bill, and it doesn't matter to him whether it's on your private property, your mining claim, or where it is. It's statewide. This bill would destroy mining in Oregon. It isn't just gold we're talking about. There's bentonite, there's, I don't know, at least there's a dozen other minerals that are mined. Anything that's not a lode, I'm sure you all understand this. The description or the definition of a placer deposit is anything that isn't a lode.
Including gravel pits.
gravel pits, sand that they use for road construction, building, making cement, and all sorts of uses. That's all a placer deposit. Now we understand that when this bill gets into committee, supposedly they're going to amend it and aim it directly at suction dredge mining. But they haven't done that yet. There's no guarantee they're going to do it. So it's very important that we speak out. We need this whole bill thrown out. There's nothing good in this bill whatsoever.
Come on, he's right.
The next bill, Senate Bill 401, sponsored by Senator Bates of Ashland.
Come on.
This bill doubles the amount of state-designated scenic waters. Under the State Scenic Waterway Act, quote, all placer mining is prohibited. Under the State Scenic Waterway Act, they don't care if it is your private property,
This is true.
if it's state land, county land, or federal land open to the mining law. And that's the key to this. Federal lands that are open to the mining law, that's a congressionally granted right. The state cannot prohibit mining on federal lands open to the mining law.
Come on. Sure trying.
They're trying, and if they pass it, we'll see them in court. And we'll probably see them in a few other places. I know one spot where it's real hot. Another bill, Senate Bill 370, creates what's called commercial mining. Also by Senator Bates. No, I don't think it's. Excuse me, I think I misspoke. I'm not sure. I don't remember who sponsored this bill, but it classifies any mining larger than a 4-inch dredge as a commercial operation.
Oh, come on.
Well, if you're mining under the mining law, the federal mining law, mining is mining. Gold panning has been determined by the courts to be mining. There's no such thing as recreational mining. There's no such thing as hobby mining. It is all mining. Look up at the top of this building. Well, some of you might be too close, but there's a statue up there. What's on that statue?
Where'd it come from?
Where'd it come from?
Here.
Let's hope. They probably got it from, if they had to rebuild this, they'd probably get that gold from China today.
China got it from here.
We've got another bill, Senate Bill 12, I want to talk a little bit about. This bill bans all vehicles with a gross vehicle weight over 200 pounds from the banks and beds of all streams in Oregon. That means you can't ride your ATV along a gravel bar. You can't drive across a creek at a ford where there is no bridge. This limits our access to our claims. Limits, you're going to have to pack everything on foot the way these guys go.
No wheelbarrow. No wheelbarrow.
Probably no, well, if it's less than 200 pounds you might get away with it, but don't put more than 200 pounds in that wheelbarrow or you're going to be in trouble. I want to talk about what happens if some of these bills pass. Senate Bill 115, the one that prohibits all motorized placer mining, has a fine of $6,250 and up to 1 year in jail.
Right.
Now put that in perspective. I think Kirby Jackson from the Glease Mining District put this together, pulled out some other fines for other activities if you get caught in Oregon. And I added some of these fines up and found out that I could get charged and found guilty and fined for selling marijuana near a school, driving over 100 miles an hour, killing an endangered species, all while being drunk, and pay less of a fine than you're going to fine for exercising your congressionally granted rights to mine your own property.
Whoa.
I find that a little bit, well, beyond ridiculous. It's sickening that anybody would even propose such legislation. Today at one of these booths,
I don't need a ticket.
I'm not sure, one of the booths we have, what we're looking for is if any of these laws get passed, we're going to have to go to court. Waldo Mining District and Eastern Oregon Mining Association are already involved in litigation against DEQ's illegal suction dredge permit, and we have been since 2005. We've been raising money for that litigation through a series of raffle drawings. If these bills get passed, we're not going to have time to put together raffle drawings. So we're asking today, any of you that can, we've got a pledge of support. We don't need any money today because we don't know if we're going to need it or not, but we want to be prepared. Because the day they sign these bills into law, we want to file a lawsuit in court. Yeah. So what we're asking for, any of you that can, please sign our pledge of support. We're asking for $100 from anyone that can pledge it. It's over at that corner canopy over there, the green one. They have it over there. It's not binding. If you can't, if the time comes, we'll contact you that we're doing this, we need the money. If you can't, send what you can. But it'll certainly help us make the decision to go to court. If we've got enough money behind it, if 1,000 of us submit $100, that's $100,000 that we'll have to hire ourselves a good attorney and sue these clowns.
Amen.
One last little thing, and then I'm going to relieve the microphone to somebody, the next speaker. DEQ is holding their first stakeholder meeting over the new dredge permit scheduled for 2014 this March 7th down in Medford at the library in Jackson County. I urge any of you that can make that meeting, whether you were invited or not, to come. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Bob.